Alright guys, so if you've watched the channel for more than a couple of months, or you've gone through the back catalog videos, you know that I have had this issue where in my head, on paper, I have the Camaro Pandora completely built. Know the transmission going in it, I know the staying with the stock rear end with upgraded axle shafts and rear gears and everything. It's getting fully caged, stripped interior for the most part. I mean, no carpet, no headliner. I'm gonna rework some of the sheet metal in the back of the car. It's gonna get fuel injected. The issue becomes, what do I do with the engine? And you've heard me say it's getting LS swapped, an NALS motor. You've heard me say it's getting a twin turbo small block Chevy. And those have kind of been where I've landed. It's getting one of the two motors, and I've never really nailed down which one I want. Talking to my wife, the reason when I can't come to a census, she put it to me in a way I had not thought of. I need to look at it as long-term, not short-term. Because everything said and done, it's going to cost me about the same to build the motor either way. To build the small block or to build the LS. And I'm not 100% sure that the small block that's in the car, that 305, is worth saving at this point. I still have to rip it down. If I buy an LS, I have to rip it down also because I'm going to upgrade it before I put it back in the car. So either way, at that point, I have to rip down the motors, and it's going to cost me the same to buy the rebuild kits for both cars, for both engines, I mean. But one of them has the additional cost of I have to buy the motor itself. On the flip side, with the small block Chevy, I have to rip it apart and possibly send it to be machined. So it ends up being the same price either way. The fact of the matter is, yes, one is way cooler than the other, because who hasn't done an LS swap? I mean, look, Mary Posey, I can't even think of all the other ones, but there's several second-gen Camaros right now running LS swapped that just go out and annihilate everything. Benefits of an LS: you really don't need to do a whole lot, and they make ridiculous amounts of power. So, yeah, cool. Small block Chevy is a very known block, and you do the right stuff, they become stout blocks that will hold up to almost anything you throw at them. I like the idea of keeping as much of the original stuff in the car as I can. I'm not going carbon fiber front end. I'm not going fiberglass hood. I'm not going... It's still going to be a steel car. Because for me, that's what I want. I want something that if I get a dent in it and I feel like I need to pop that dent out, I can work the dent out of the car. If it's fiberglass front end and I damage the front end, guess what? I have to replace the whole front end. Now, if I damage the front end to the point that I can't fix it, I will go carbon fiber because that just makes sense. But while I still have good sheet metal, I might as well keep good sheet metal. Yes, the car has rust in it, but not rust like I have to replace the fender. I can buy patch panels. So the body of the car is, for the most part, it's a decent, solid beginning. But talking to my wife about it, the way she explained it to me and the way she said I need to look at it is, later on down the road, you may want to build some ridiculously high-powered engine. And you know that's all going to be LS-based motors. Even if it's not the LS you drop in it to begin with, it will be an LS motor. Because one day I would like to put an LSX 454 in the car. I can't justify whatever that costs. I can't, $17,000 or some shit for that motor. I can build just as much power, actually probably more power, for a quarter of the cost using a 5.3 or a 4.8 LS motor. And if I'm going to build the LS motor, I might as well build it twin turbo. Because, yeah, everybody's done it. Look at Nelson Racing. They've built a ton of them. Hennessy's, the Hennessy Venom is it may not be now, but it was at one point. They were 7-liter twin turbos. So, I mean, LS has proven its worth as a motor. It is the motor everybody runs to. I mean, look at how many LS swapped Mustangs there are now. Look how many LS swapped. LS rule the world, essentially. That's why I like the oddball shit. But, and there's a video on this channel, you can call me out on it, and I know you guys will, that where I talk about where I hate LS motors. I hate LS motors because I feel like it takes away from the true hot rodding spirit. Now, that being said, I think I'm going to try to build something stupid. Just for the fact that I can. And I might as well try to build something that when you pop the hood go, oh. Or when you read the spec list, all I'm going to ever list is that it's an LS swap. I'm not going to list what power adders and everything it's got. And you guys can talk to me about how this won't work and blah, 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 blah. But I know enough, and I'm willing to try stupid shit, that I'll make this work somehow. Hot Rod Magazine, and I believe Truckin', 2 of those publications from 10, have done the 4.3 and the 4, or not the 4.3, because the 4.3 Hot Rod Magazine has proven is a garbage motor. They killed how many of them now in the Rotson? So, yeah. The 4.8 and the 5.3 have both been twin turbo tested. Both motors have survived on stock internals with very little things changed. They changed the top ring gap and they put ARP studs in them. Other than that, they're stock everything. They didn't change out the bearings. They didn't rebuild them. They might have put new head gaskets and stuff on when they checked all that, but whatever. Essentially, they're still stock blocks and everything, though. Both motors survived 26 pounds of boost with very little modification, really. The cranks survived, the pistons survived. The shit that you normally have to forge in a small block Chevy, they survived. So, at that point, okay, cool. So here's what I'm thinking. And you can call me crazy and you can tell me it'll never work. You're just going to push me to want to do it more. I'm going to try to build. And it's going to be a long time coming, so don't expect it to be, car's done, now it's got this crazy motor. It's going to start with a mildly built 4.53 with flat top pistons. It's going to be the main thing I do with the first one. It's going to be a twin turbo, twin centrifugal supercharged 4.3 liter or 5.3 liter LS motor. And the way I'm planning to do this is fairly big 76 millimeter turbos that'll put out roughly 10 pounds of boost apiece with 2 centrifugal supers with small pulleys so they instantly create boost. So they're going to add an additional charge off the bottom end. From there, once they get to about 10 pounds of boost, hopefully the supercharged turbos will not be completely spooled. A valve will open and bypass the charge tube to the back of the back of the turbos and help spin them even faster, pushing the boost into the engine. Regardless if this is really going to work, I have to sit down and figure it out. This is just what in my head seems like will work. If not, I'll just purge them off into nothingness. So that the superchargers are taking up to an X amount of RPM about the time that the turbos start spooling up and are at 8-9 pounds of boost. And once the turbos start pushing that 10 pounds of boost, the superchargers will just blow off. And I might use them to blow off, because it should be a colder air charge, blow off to help cool the engine bay. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure out how to make this work, though, guys. That is the new plan. Regardless if it's really going to work, or I just all of a sudden go, nope, I don't have the patience for this, it's a whole nother question. Because I understand I got to figure out how to control boost timing. I got to figure out how to control fuel. I have to control the fuel table ridiculously. I'm going to pretty much have to teach myself how to tune a car from the bottom to the top. So, you know, that's the plan. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know on Facebook, Instagram. Hit me up. If you play Forza Horizon 3, come find the Veteran Car Corner Car Club and hang out with us. If you play Grand Theft Auto, there's a crew on that. Let me know. Hit us up. Find us. Thanks, guys.